Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another CNC Router Mixer. We do these every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can join us. There's a link inside of the comments, so you can join us on Zoom. Click the link and come talk about your CNC, your projects, hopes, and ambitions. How are you doing, Kurt? Your audio is a little sketchy. Say something again, please.
Oh, let's see. How's that?
That's much better. Now we lost your picture. Perfect.
There.
Yeah.
Let me turn that light off.
Yeah. Been a fast week since last week. A lot going on, but not much time left in the day to get things done. So it's been interesting. Had a sick friend that had helped me build my router. Got out of the hospital last week, and he's back home, and things are going well for him, so that's nice. Yeah, he came over and when I was putting my router together and did a lot of things for me, showed me a lot of things that I did not know how to do before. So it was kind of cool back in the day.
Nice.
Anyway, let's see. Got to double check the. Okay, the live is going out there, and okay, we should still be going. Yep. Okay. So, Hallie and I were chatting back and forth this week, and there was something that was really interesting that's coming out on Kickstarter pretty soon. They have a very small, by that I mean it has a cutting area of 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters. Yeah, it's kind of tiny, but it's a 5-axis benchtop size CNC that's coming out on Kickstarter, and they've got the super early bird special going right now, where if you put down a $50 deposit, you get to buy it at the early bird price of like just over $5,000, including software. So I think that's kind of interesting to see that sort of thing happening right now. I know it's not a router, but it's basically a 4-inch cube, and a 4-inch cube that's plenty big enough to make a triple edge finder in one fixture, one setting.
Yeah.
Actually 2 of them if you stack them, but actually more than that. Anyway, it's it's one of those things. I don't know if you get to all the surfaces if you stack them like that, but be an interesting exercise.
Yeah.
It just amazing. Now there's not a lot of horsepower to this thing, but it sure looks interesting. If I can find
teeth and all that.
Pardon me?
You can make teeth with it.
Yep, you could make teeth. You could make bone screws. You could make probably a golf putter head.
Yeah. The rings is jewelry.
Yep. So if you really, if you concentrated on having a project for something like that, at that price compared to every other 5-axis machine that's out there, I know the cheapest industrial quality 5-axis machine I'm aware of is in the 50 grand range, and that's
Right.
that's the cheapest one I know of. Most of them are up over 100,000. So imagine how many of these little ones you could buy for that price. Um, Kind of interesting. I'm going to see if I can um, come up with the link to that while I'm thinking about it. But I when I saw that, I was kind of surprised. Not really surprised enough to go out and throw a $50 deposit on something that would just I don't have a particular idea for at the moment, but it sure would be nice to have one. But you know how that
Yes,
goes.
it would.
You know, let's see. All right, I think I should have this link in a minute, but it hasn't launched on Kickstarter completely yet. This is I think it's probably in the next two or 3 weeks that they'll launch it. Um, that's the hard part with the Kickstarter project. You know, they got to build buzz before they launch, so that on the day they launch, it's an instant success and gets funded. And that's the whole ball of wax. Back in the day, they didn't do things that way. They just um, launched on opening day and hoped. Well, you can't afford to do that anymore. If you've got millions of dollars worth of product tied up, um, you got to make sure that you can sell that stuff.
Right.
So anyway,
It depends how much glue to put in. If it doesn't sit next to the other, no.
I don't think Ned was talking to us when he just heard that.
You just gotta be careful. There's no talking up on the exit.
But
He's
anyway,
working on a machine over there.
yeah, yeah, I may throw the mute up on him sooner or later. But anyway, I'm looking back through the listing, trying to find it. I think it's called X Horse 3D or something like that. Actually, let's see what I can find.
And they want the other 17 doors as well. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
going on holiday. Yeah? Yeah. When? To America.
Yeah, so
Right
it
before
is
you
that
get
is the name for
do you want me to, like, it's a matter if there's a bit of paint like that left on there?
for the company. I haven't found the listing yet. Anyway, we can continue talking about other stuff and um, while I search. Have you done anything on your teardrop camper?
They ordered $500 and some worth of trim for it, and
Hey guys, I'm back.
now I'm looking for an axle set for it, and the stuff is slowly but surely coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I got about $1,500 worth of stuff bought, so I'll have about $2,000 in it when I'm done.
Yep. Did you say you found the axle, or you're still looking for the axle?
Oh, I'm looking for the axle. It's got to be a 72 by 58 axle,
Mm-hmm.
72 inches face to face on the hubs and 58 inches wide on the spring pads.
Hmm.
They're about $200, but the shipping's $100.
Hmm. Yeah. No way to drive down and pick it up?
They're not local. They're all a couple hours away at least. If I could
Yeah.
find one a little bit closer, I'd probably go get it for $100. I could go get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. Of course, because I'm looking for this thing now, I'm not finding it.
Oh, of course.
Of course, but they've been slamming me with ads for it all week long. And it is what it is. Sometimes you get lucky, other times not. Um, but anyway,
I'm gonna go this weekend and probably pick up the steel for the trailer base. It'll be a couple $100 for that.
mhm.
I'm just grateful I got the money to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when we were building our machines, the steel making a base for the machine was always like the one thing nobody ever thought about until it was almost too late in the build process. In the process of gathering your stuff. Were you going to go with a steel table or a plywood table or a 2x4 table or unistrut? You remember the bases on
Yeah,
those machines, and it was um, really kind of silly. I ended up going with a unistrut um, base for the table and always regretted it because it's bolted together instead of welded, and so that puts a lot of um, loosey goosey, not as rigid as it could be, flex into the base so that the machine can sometimes shake when you're cutting. Yeah.
unistrut base, and it does this little shaking every now and then, but I don't notice any problem with it. So,
Yeah. It
I
it
don't
does
I don't
it
expect. Go ahead.
it really doesn't transfer to the cut. It's just, seeing it shimmying that always bugged me versus the one that we built at the college. We welded the base and it seems rock solid.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, just um, Unistrut has its places, but it would be really nice to tack weld every bolt in place on that thing and make it just slightly more rigid, except for the you'd be welding galvanized steel, which is not good for you.
They build huge buildings by bolts, nuts and bolts with plates. So I guess it does work a little bit.
No, I mean, it's held up for what, 10, 15. I don't know, even though when we built it, 2009. So yeah,
Or is it really in
yeah,
that range somewhere? Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it's fine. It's just if I were doing it over again, I'd weld up the base, or I'd make a big um 2x4, 2x6 kind of base with all kinds of drawers and things to store other shop material under there. Because that's the one thing that really kind of sucks when you're taking up a 6 foot by 6 foot uh, spot in the shop. That's you know that's quite an area not to have storage under. You know.
Stacked all over underneath.
Hmm.
And in fact, I just put my Incra super jig for the
Table saw.
ultra jig. I put it up for sale, and I have a router table Incra jig. I'm going to put that up for sale in a couple days.
Hmm.
All that stuff is going.
Yep. And those are nice jigs. They'll bring a good price. Um, you know,
I put my big drill press up for sale. So a floor model drill press. I just put it up for sale.
really.
So it's all, yep.
Yeah, that surprises me because of most of the tools that I have, the drill press is the one I wouldn't sell.
Well, I've got a cabinet set up with a rotating table. It's got a small drill press, a small miter saw, and a small bandsaw, so I can rotate the table and get what I want. But I don't need the big drill press anymore,
Hmm.
so it's going to go. In fact, I don't hardly ever use it.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things. I have a small drill press and I have a full size drill press, and if I were selling one today, it would be the benchtop one.
Uh,
Mm.
well,
It's
you're
just,
younger by 10 years, so you got 10 more years to play.
well, let's hope you're right. Yeah. Um, you never know. Folks are dropping like flies. Uh,
Yeah.
just scary. Um, but yeah, I've got to. We've had this discussion before, but I need to weed out more and more of the stuff that's in the shop that I haven't used in a long time. But I
Can you guys hear me okay?
one more time.
Hello? Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you barely, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, don't know what that is, but okay.
All right. Yeah. It's like you're in a tunnel somewhere else. Yeah.
Oh, I'll turn some duct extractors off.
When people talk about getting a CNC router, they don't know they're going to have all the side tools. And I got my CNC router. I got not very much money in it, but the side tools, $450 Incra Super Jig, another $200 Incra Jig, and an $800 drill press,
Mm-hmm.
a
Then,
$300 bandsaw.
yep. Then start adding your table saw.
Yep, my table saw, my $3,500 saw stop table saw, and then I have a Milwaukee $800 chop saw, miter saw. So, and
Mm-hmm.
huge toolbox full of hand tools. Jeez,
Yeah, it
it
goes
never
crazy
ends.
fast. Yeah. You don't realize how many tools you end up getting just to make the workflow. Like for instance, the metal cutting bandsaw. You know, the gravity fed one. Uh, for when I was cutting up a lot of things, you know, and has the automatic stop on it. Um,
Yeah,
Now, realistically, that tool could go because I use that mostly with in conjunction with the milling machine, but I found that it was more cost effective time wise for me to have my metal pre-cut to size if I was doing batch production. So, um, you know, ordering a 12-foot long piece of aluminum and then standing there at the chop saw all day, you know, with the bandsaw all day, it just wasn't making sense. Uh, but anyway, yeah, there's lots of tools that I could do without, but there are tools that I definitely have to have, like the surface planer, um, and um, the joiner. Yep. Yes, you can do those
joiner.
functions. Go ahead.
I got a joiner with a $400 shear bird shear head on it. You know
Hmm.
the
Yep.
rotary
The,
head.
yep. The helical head. Yep.
Yep, the Sheelix. Yep, yep.
Yep.
And so a guy came by and he offered me $100 for it. I said, I'll throw it in the bay first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm emptying a few things. I'm emptying a few things at my place, and one of them that's going is the bench drill.
But that's only because I've got a small mill that I use that I can use as a bench drill anyway. So
Yeah.
more space. But I'm
Yeah.
keeping my little Half-Go saw, my drop saw, the bandsaw.
Well, I
Yeah.
told him I would let him have it for $100, but I'm going to take the Sheelix head out of it, put the old head back in it. You could have it
Hmm.
for $100. He says, that ain't a deal. I said, well, yeah, I'll sell the
To
head to
me,
somebody else.
Sure. He couldn't even buy the inserts for $100.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. People are amazing when it comes to deals.
huh?
Yeah.
Well, if I hold out long enough, I'll get what I want.
Yeah. Yep. Um, I just came across my deal of the week on Facebook Marketplace. Uh,
I got it
somebody
in there
had
almost perfect.
it's not router related, but it was a really nice deal. Um, there are goggles that you wear when you fly drones. For it's called first person view, and there's a company called Fat Shark, and some guy was selling a set of goggles with the camera and transmitter for $40.
They the Chinese knockoffs of them are going away for really, really cheap. I've got a whole pile of collections. I don't have the goggles yet, but I've got all the cameras, transmitters, etc. for them. Got a few sets actually.
Yeah. Well, this is a pretty well-known brand, Fat Shark, and
Yeah,
they're I'm not putting the antenna on it, but you know, kind of like Geordie LaFord style. Uh, um, they're they're kind of neat, but I mean, where are you gonna find a set of these little FPV goggles this size? You know, for $40? I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're probably 200 to $400, depending on what features you get with this one. So it's gonna be interesting. Um, I have a radio controlled glider. I'm gonna put that in so that I can, uh, go flying up in the sky and get a bird's eye view of what's going on.
I need to get a drone that's big enough to pull the deer out of the woods.
What about a deer?
I'm going to hook my drone to a deer I harvest in the woods and fly it out of the woods. That's what I need.
Yeah, you need a pretty big drone to fly a deer out of the woods.
Yeah,
Hmm. But I could see if you could build it big enough to haul out an elk, you could sell your services to hunters in like Montana and places like that.
that's right. You know, you haul one deer out of the woods one time and you're ready to buy the next machine.
Hmm.
So
Well,
I was talking to my nephew. He hauled a deer out of the woods last year. It was over a quarter mile. And I told him we're going to build something. And he said, what? I said, you're going to get a full size winch and you're going to put 1/16 cable on it. You can put 1,000 feet of cable on that thing. And then you can get another 1,000 feet. So you have 2,000 feet of cable and you can run it out and you can pull that deer out of that woods because that cable is 600-pound test. It'll pull that deer out of that woods.
hmm.
I'm not going to be dragging another deer out of the woods ever again. I'm going to pull it out.
Well, if you had a four-wheeler, I suppose you could drag it out, but I don't know.
Yeah, but four-wheelers are 3 or 4 thousand bucks with a winch is $100. So,
I
you
don't think
know,
you thought this one through. You're talking about a straight shot to the deer, and I see you winding around everything to get to him.
Well, yeah, but you can use pulleys and
Don't you have
things.
a quad bike? Don't you have a quad bike?
A what?
A quad bike, a four-wheel
What is?
bike.
Oh no, a quadro. No, they're about $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah, if you buy
They're
it
even
new.
dearer than that, but like they're good.
See, I've been looking for
But
one
they're
for
good.
a while now, and they're pretty expensive. I'd rather get the winch for $100 with a hand winch.
But they're fun.
Yeah.
They're, I couldn't think of going hunting or anything. As a matter of fact, I'm considering building or converting a second-hand one to an electric quad bike, so there's no noise either.
Well, there you go.
Hmm.
Because you can get like those tuk-tuk motors off AliExpress. They're only like about $500. I've got the batteries, and yeah, go electric on them.
Well, I know they have those electric bike motors. You
Yeah,
get,
Yeah.
do a.
you get
I'm
four of
on my
those.
phone. Do a search for tuk-tuk electric tuk-tuk motor. Do a quick search on AliExpress for that.
What is the word tuk
I
tuk?
can't. I'm on TUK. It's the Thailand, those little Thailand buggies, that the little Thailand three-wheel taxis they have.
So it's electric.
Electric tuk-tuk motor.
Yeah.
TUK.
Okay. 118 bucks, 65 bucks, 118 bucks, depending.
There'll be shipping on those ones there, but yeah, they're about $500 Australian.
Hmm.
And that's for
Depend.
like a 2 or 3,000 watt motor. And that's a geared. So you get the axle, you get the hubs motor that you can put straight in underneath a one of those four-wheel quads.
Okay. So you're saying 3,000 watts?
Yeah, they were 2 or 3,000 watts. I haven't looked for a
Okay.
few months, but
Yeah, I'm seeing these, the prices I mentioned are for much smaller ones, like 1,000 watts, 117 bucks.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh, look, even 1,000 watts, because they're geared, that you're not going for speed. You'll get probably around about you'll get around about 15, 20 miles an hour out of them.
Hmm. Okay. Well, now I see what a tuk tuk is. Uh,
There you go, education.
yeah. So I'll share that screen for a second. Uh, so that's what a tuk tuk is.
You still have to pay it. There it is. Yeah. They've got ones that they actually transport passengers in, but they're a three-wheeled vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, interesting.
But
Eh,
they make wheelbarrows and stuff like that out of the tuk-tuk motors also.
Hey everyone, Micah here with ebikeschool.com, and this is my new electric rickshaw. I just bought it a couple days ago, been driving around. It is awesome.
Rickshaw.
I have a lot to tell you guys about. Now I know you've got a ton of questions. How much did it cost? How fast does it go? How far does it go? Is it street legal? Do I have some awesome project planned to build in the back of it? I'm gonna answer all of those questions and more right after this montage.
all right. Enough of that. Everybody should have one.
Absolutely. Actually, something I saw on Facebook just yesterday or the day before. They've got these little jet speedboats. You can just fit one adult in them, like you literally use the entire space. But they look like a hell of a lot of fun. They're like these little tiny jet boats, speedboats from China.
Hmm. Yeah, there's lots of cool things. They have a type of boat over in Asia that they don't really have here in the U.S. that I've seen, and it's basically a motor on a stick with a long shaft and a propeller out, and out the back, and they stand at the stern of the boat,
Yeah.
and they lift this thing up manually and put it in. It's kind of like the precursor to an outboard motor, but with it looked like it would be really dangerous. I saw one in a James Bond movie a long time ago when Bond is fighting this guy, and the guy's trying to hit him with the propeller as they're speeding back and forth across the lake. Does anybody know what those are called?
No, but they're just the Thailand, the longboats they have there. They're like a really long, skinny canoe type thing.
Mm-hmm.
A long tail boat, and they soup up those little 4-cylinder diesel engines from the little Hondas, and they got 100 horsepower.
They get
Yep.
some roosts happening behind it.
Yep. So, be an interesting project to post on one of the forums. Build your own boat. Probably be cheaper to just import the sucker from overseas.
It's probably the
Yeah, might be good someplace down that had swampy terrain, but I'm not real sure. Anyway, it is what it is. So, yeah, not much going on in my shop right now because of the winter weather, but we finally seem to get out of that huge low temperature that was the entire first half of February. It's snowing every day, and just it was ridiculous. Up on Whiteface Mountain, which is where they held the Olympics in 1980, the Winter Olympics.
Right now, you'll get it in a couple hours.
Yeah, up on the top of Whiteface Mountain, it was negative 66 degrees Fahrenheit last
I might
week.
disappear for a few seconds, guys. I just need to make a phone call.
Yep. But I just can't imagine that level of cold. I've been in 20 below, but I've never even heard of negative 66. That sounds like something you'd see in the Antarctic or something.
It was about 25 below here a couple of weeks ago. So once it gets down below zero, it's too cold for anything.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a lot of frozen pipes around the area, and just it's brutal. It really is. So,
Yeah.
but we're up in the 30s and 40s now. Right now, even at this time of day, it's 35. So,
Yeah. It's going to be 60 tomorrow.
I hope you're right. It'll melt a lot of snow if it is.
Yeah, most of our snow is gone now, thankfully.
Well, we still got about 2.5, 3 feet in the on the side, front yard.
Nice.
No, it's cold. Cold and deep. Yeah, it's I just as soon spring got here, but according to that groundhog, that's not happening for a while.
That groundhog, make him into a hat.
I'm kind of wondering what conditions would have to prevail for him not to be able to see his shadow.
Volcanic eruption.
Yeah. But anyway, however long winter is, it is. So, but I'd kind of like to get out in the shop.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's time to do the electronics projects inside that go with that. Build out a control cabinet or um, figure out how I'm going to wire up the spindles, that sort of thing. Because you can do that in a bench inside.
Yeah.
Now, I've been toying with the idea of reducing the size of my router table. Um, keep the width the same, but shorten the length of the table.
You got a
That
4x4?
one more time?
You got a 4x4?
Yeah. Yep. Drop it down to maybe a 2x4 or probably a 2x4.
Yeah.
It's actually closer to 6 foot of cutting, or excuse me, 5 foot of cutting right now as it sits. But it just takes up a lot of floor space, and
Right.
I'm not doing full sheet jobs anymore very often.
As long as
We
I keep getting jobs to cut these teardrop camper walls, I'm gonna keep using mine for a while. If I
Yeah.
get one every couple months to cut the walls out, it only takes about a day.
Hmm.
They give me $300-400.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice project for it. I think if I had a steady project like that I wanted to do, then that would make sense. Um, when I originally built the machine, I wanted to do some signs and some flat pack furniture stuff, and so it
Yeah.
kind of made sense to build it the size it was. But I found over time that I'm only ever really using a small portion of the machine now. Somebody wants a plaque or something. It's usually out of oak, and that's not very wide, very wide pieces. And you know, why use up all that shop space when I could fit in another tool altogether? And it's Milo. Welcome.
Hey, what's up?
Very little. It's winter here in upstate New York.
We'd be happy to take whatever snow you don't want.
Really?
Colorado is doing horrible on snowpack. We're less than half of what we should have.
Okay. How can we ship it to you?
Any way you can send it.
Hmm, I'm sure we
Yeah,
could work something out.
long as I've lived here for what, 40 years, I've never
Yeah.
seen it this low.
This is one of the
You
best
got a
skiing
storm
years
coming
they've
your way.
had.
You got a storm coming your way now, so you should be happy in a week or two.
Yeah, the people downriver from us, they're going to be in bad shape if we don't get some more snowpack. They're going to be draining Lake Mead.
Hmm. Well, there's a big storm
Sure.
coming in off California. Maybe it'll hit you guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, they could really use it, or either that, or we're going to have a heck of a wildfire season.
Yeah.
We had quite a bit of rain last spring, so we've got a lot of underbrush, and now it's drying out like straw. Some knucklehead throws a cigarette, we're going to set the state on fire.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Because
Yeah, crazy weather patterns.
yeah, our summer was picture perfect, right? Just long and hot and clear, and for like 2 months on the end, I could fly every day. I could go out and fly my airplanes, and then it was like November, Thanksgiving or whatever. Winter came,
Huh.
and it never let up. Basically, It snowed every day in December, and or excuse me, every day in January, and February wasn't much better. We just finally got a clear spot here this week, but ooh, been brutal.
Yeah, we would normally be over 100 inches at my place by this time of year, and I doubt if we have 10.
I think Syracuse is at 120 inches right now.
Uh,
He sent all to us.
yeah, it just kept on going over to you guys.
Hmm. Well, one of the Great Lakes, you could actually see see uh, the bed of the lake because all the winds were coming across the Great Lakes so fast it pushed all the water off to one side. Lake Erie, yep. Just one more time.
They call
You're
it a
having bad
siege.
audio.
I wonder why. Nobody loves me. How's that?
Sounds better.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really muffling out there.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
Tell you
yeah.
what, I've been learning about 3D modeling and 3D printing,
Oh, ho.
and for the CNC machine.
Uh-huh.
So it's funny how time change and tools change to allow you to do more and more with it.
Mm-hmm.
When I was first learning 3D modeling of this kind, it was a steep learning curve, just like most things. And then it starts to flatten off, and then you can start to move with it. I tell you what, with that 3D modeling, I undervalued the putting it all together and looking at it on screen and moving it around and looking at it and saying, no, I don't like this area here.
Yeah.
I can take this area rather than getting close, printing it out, and then finding out it wasn't right. Yeah, I'm fairly impressed with the assemblies that you can put together. And I was making a couple dust shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted them to adjust up and down, and trying to say, okay, the bit is going to be this long inside of there, and I can adjust it this far, and I want to be able to, cut this deep without smashing the brush all to pieces, and it come out dead on. I was impressed.
How's it going, Milo?
Hi there, Ned.
Hey, hey,
Yeah, uh,
Which
it's kind of neat that you can tell where the areas are going to be, and okay, well, if this isn't going to do it, well, then change this.
which software are you using?
SolidWorks.
Okay, yep. That's a good one.
I understand they now have a maker space version or a maker version.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty inexpensive. And but yeah, I'm sure I'm not even coming close to utilizing it very far, because I just don't know the ins and outs of it. But I tell you what, from what I've been doing, it's very, very interesting. And taking it out of there, taking it over to the 3D printer and kicking out a part, throwing it on the CNC machine, and yes, it's working.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, I can't stress enough how important it is once you decide to go 3D to be able to assemble something in place, look at it, and then spin it around to look at it from all different sides. Um, and you'll find you design um, yourself into a corner sometimes. And if you don't have that ability to see it um, in 3D space. So yeah, I'm surprised that you weren't doing more of this already because you're so good with the Vectrix 2D software. I thought maybe you'd already done this.
Well, I mean, I had been messing around. I've been using like AutoCAD since before Windows came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot tougher and not nearly as detailed at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets to the point where I can kind of imagine what it's going to be in 3D, drawing it flat on paper. But there, every once in a while, it'll catch you. Whereas this, it's kind of funny. I work in Corel Draw a lot because I've had it since version 1.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Actually, did
exporting the
you guys get
vectors
that?
out of there.
Did you guys get that post I did the other day about Corel Draw? It was on special. I only had 2 or 3 days left for like $50 or $60. Corel Draw Designer or something.
Yeah, Corel Dial Standard is on Humble Bundle for about $25 or $30. And then two
Yeah,
or three
no, that's
weeks ago,
like $50. Yeah, it was like $50 Australian. So yeah, it would have been 20 or $30, 20, $30 for
and
you
then
guys.
2 or 3 weeks ago, the entire suite 2024 was on sale for like $40. And I went ahead and got it because I needed to update mine anyway.
Yeah, I did that last year through Humble Bundle. What a great
Yeah.
program website.
Yeah, the problem with the standard version versus the full suite, the standard has Visual Basic taken out of it and a couple other little things. It's
But it's not a
restricted a little
biggie.
bit.
But it's not that much of a biggie.
By the way, I found the video to that little 5-axis machine I was talking about a few minutes ago. But we'll continue with Milo and whatever Scott has, and maybe we'll circle back to it. It's a cute little machine.
Oh, here, let me throw up this project I was doing. And, if somebody's watching this at some point and saying, okay, what the heck is involved with this? So you got the sharing
Oh,
and
sorry. We do now.
He
okay.
was almost done with his presentation.
Drawing overhead views in Corel Draw. Just, 2D views. Here's the bottom of the spindle. Here's the outside of the dust shoe. And then I take and put, different layers. Let's see, this one is this one. And you don't see a heck of a lot. That gets confusing pretty doggone quick. This is the base of the dust shoe itself. And here's kind of a side profile angle, trying to figure out, okay, here's a 1-inch depth of cut bit in the spindle. And you're trying to kind of imagine how much you can adjust this up and down and what you're going to end up with. I wanted an angle on the brushes so that they weren't standing straight up and down. So I'd put a 8-degree angle to them. It's kind of funny. 6-degree wasn't very much. 10-degree was a little too much, but that kind of thing. I wanted a removable front brush on it. And a 4-inch hose here, but I wanted to be able to go up to a 5-inch hose and still clear the electrical connection over here. And I did it this way for years, trying to draw something up.
Yep.
Now with, oops, grabbed the wrong program here. But now with SolidWorks, here's a side profile.
You can zoom in a little too. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
And like I said, you can look at it from underneath. See if you've got adequate clearance around here or too much clearance. You can see the length of the bit sticking out here. You can also add in a half-inch bit with a 2-inch length to see what that would look like. The bracing on it so that it has adequate bracing on this front end. Clamp section here, I put a hose clamp around here instead of a 90-degree end bolt clamp that a lot of them have. Hose clamp gives you a nice solid contact all the way around. You can put a little recession area here for the bolt mechanism because it's a little fatter and a little thicker.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, you can remove any of the stiffening areas that protrude into the airflow. Now, this thing here, I wanted it to be able to adjust up and down. And this one has 1 5/8 adjustment. So it'll adjust up that high and pull that 2-inch bit up. And so this way you can tell, okay, if I have a 1-inch, 1/8 bit or a 2-inch depth of cut, half-inch bit, you can see exactly where it's going to fall on the brush, as itself. Same thing as if you don't have this other piece on there.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is take it back off. Yep, it's pretty impressive. To the point where, oops. Looking in the end slot here, you can see if your bolt is lined up. And yeah, it's pretty impressive software.
Have you learned about constraints yet?
Yeah. Playing around with it. Going just hog wild on there, that gets you into trouble pretty quick. Because then you got it laying all out of the place and it's out of the whack. And but yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. When you've got something that's an assembly of parts, it's just an amazing process or software to be able to do something.
That was
So,
SolidWorks.
Yeah, I mean, if you're off, you can easily detect a 32nd of an inch out of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
It's very impressive that after you start looking at it and you go, okay, that wasn't quite right. You start adding a few crosshairs to get it in there. And like I say, the constraints, I haven't messed with that yet. I've messed with mating parts and that type of thing, but it takes away a lot of guesswork.
Yeah, it does.
Should result in a lot less parts that you print, and then all of a sudden you find out it's not a hoot. But come off the printer.
That's a ticket right there now. That's what they make them printers for right there.
Yep.
Even if that was a prototype, I mean, that's an outstanding prototype. I don't know if that's the final product or not, but
well, it's the first one I printed, and it's good. It's what I wanted.
Yep.
Now, if you could figure out a way for that brush to float up and down so it rests a certain distance from the
Oh, he has that.
material.
There's a dovetail in there.
So you can like loosen it up, and that the brushes move up when it move, stay in contact with the material,
Well, it doesn't do that to where it ride up and down over
like a
kind of those
floating deck
spots.
on the lawnmower is what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah, yeah. This is just it sets it wherever you set it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And like if I go to switch bits, and I got a long bit or a short bit in Vetric, I've got the post processor modified to where I can add a pause in at the tool change so that I can pause it, I can adjust the shoe and then go on. I mean, it would be kind of nice if you had one that would ride the surface,
yeah. That would be nice. The
but
one,
I don't know if
one
it'd catch or
the one that I use on the Thermwood that they have on the Thermwood that I use is similar to that right there. The only thing is you can't adjust the height. It's got like two pull pins. You pull out and take the dust shoe off, and you put it on. They snap back in place. And that works okay. The only thing is they have to have two separate chutes, a short one and a normal one. Or do it like if you got a fixture or something on there. They got one with shorter brushes,
yeah,
a shorter,
I've
yeah.
got this one where it'll adjust 1 5/8 inch because I got to looking at the bits. I said, you don't need it to go 3 or 4 inches.
Mm-mm. Not unless you're using an extra long. But
Yeah.
but even then, it's not going to go down, you know, but so much.
Well, and this hose clamp, I'd seen somebody do that and it made a lot of sense to me
Yeah.
over the traditional 90-degree tabs that would come out here and then a bolt would squeeze them together. They
Yep.
usually would break right at those tabs, where this one goes inside the block in a slot, and it goes around a ring and it just clamps it down all the way around it. And theoretically, it looks like it'll take care of it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Milo, are you aware of the ones that Rockler sells that have a thumb screw instead of the um screwdriver
Yeah.
slot?
Yeah. I've seen that even down here at Tractor Supply and Big R. But I got to figuring that, okay, this is a smaller profile.
Yep.
And once it's on there, it's probably not going to change again because then you're, adjusting this up and down
Yeah.
with this knob back here.
hmm the thumb screw, in case you wanted it to be quicker change kind of thing. It
Oh,
doesn't take
back
up.
here.
I have them on my dust collection stuff out in the shop, and they work pretty good, and they're not expensive.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I wanted, because I shoot a lot of videos, I wanted to be able to pull the front end of this off so I can still see it cutting. And every once in a while, I want to see what's cutting, but I wanted to contain the debris at least to one side. You won't get near as much crap spitting around.
Mm-hmm.
And when this is in there, you don't get any. There's nothing left on the table. But yeah, I also made it to where this is 70 millimeter brush, and I can also put 100 on here.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to some people. They said, "Well, hey, my dust collector drags these in and it hits the bit," and they were choking off the gate to reduce the amount of suction. I go, "No, you're going to burn up your motor on your dust collector." I said, "Open up another gate, let more air in the system." And I said, "The motor doesn't pull as hard." And they go, "Wait a minute, I thought you'd choke it down." I said, "No, like CNCs, everything is backwards. Open it up."
Yep. The more air you got flowing through there, the better suction you're going to get.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me until I know that's the way it is, but it never made sense thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. What's cool about that design for the bottom of the dust shoe, um, you could, since it's 3D printed, you could just print up another bottom and permanently attach that longer brush to it, and now you're just swapping them out. which is what he's about to show us, folks.
Yep, he's done figured it out.
Yep.
Well, this is for a different one. The other one for a auto tool changer has a pneumatic actuated cylinder to open up the back gate for when it docks into the fork holders. It's got to clear the darn thing. This one, the other one, comes down. This one here had to go up because when this is mounted on the spindle, I can't come down or I'd crash into my fork holders.
Yeah.
So this one has to be able to go up to make the height adjustment. So
Yeah.
a little bit longer brush on there was necessary for the longer mills.
Yeah, I had worked on an Owensrud machine, and they also had the pneumatic side curtains, and they would flip up out of the way when it did the tool change, then pop back down before plunging.
Because I know there's some that open from the back, some have to open from the front. It all depends how they dock.
Yeah, this one had openings from the side.
Side openings.
Trying to remember if there was one in the front too. I don't remember, but the difference is one pneumatic cylinder, and not a big deal. It's pretty cool.
One company that I was dealing with, they were making a I'm trying to find some pictures here while we're talking. They made it out of aluminum. And it was a square channel. Air doesn't flow in a square channel very good, as opposed to a round channel. The thing was, this is, I think, 11 pounds or 14 pounds lighter than the welded up aluminum. And so, yeah, huge difference.
So you're gonna produce these, or what are you gonna do?
Depends on what I get, how it turns out. Main thing is I just wanted to see if I could do it. It was one of those things that I got in my head and I couldn't let go of it until I said, okay, I'm going to see exactly what this takes.
I'm so glad you showed this project because for the last couple of weeks, all I've been talking about is my 3D printer. that I got at the Black Friday sale, and this demonstrates the connection because you're using the 3D printer to make something for the router.
Yep.
Back and forth, and it's all these tools are good. Having
it was same thing as that. Trying to cut those bristles, they roll under a scissors, or they'll lay over if you try to use a paper cutter. I mean, there are just all kinds of crap that doesn't work right. Well, I 3D printed something to contain the bristles, and they cut off real easy.
You mean you cut the bristles to length?
Yeah. These are 70 and 100 millimeters, so they're already pre-done.
You're talking about these, Milo?
Yeah. Trying to get 120 millimeter here is real difficult and real expensive. But
Yeah.
I had a comb one day and I stabbed it down into the brush and it stabilized the bristles a lot easier. Went to the 3D printer and made this kind of thing to contain the bristles, smash them in there, and cut them off with a utility knife. And it traps it inside of here to where it doesn't slide around, and it looks like the factory cut. But there again, with a 3D printer, okay, what if?
Mm-hmm.
You sit there and design it for a day or so, and then all of a sudden you got something in your hand and you're going, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Same thing with a 4-inch to 2 1/4 adapter. I don't want to go try to find one, so I just make one.
Yep. When I got the Tormach, um, I had this 4th-axis thing that you stick in there, and it had the motor sitting out in the middle of all the coolant and the chips and everything. And so uh, went to the college and we 3D printed up an end cap to go over the end of the motor that allowed cooling air still to be sucked in around, but not coolant. So, it's the same thing. When you've got a 3D printer, there's a lot of uses for it, and making shop related tools and fixtures and things.
Well, and half of it, I didn't know for sure what all I would use it for,
Mm-hmm.
but it was the same thing as when I bought a CNC machine and when I bought a laser.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
wasn't real
noticed the
sure what
laser
I was.
behind you.
I wasn't real sure what I was going to use it for. It's no longer what I thought I was going to use it for. That's so far in the rearview mirror.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff you don't know an application until you start playing with it.
Yeah. What laser did you end up getting?
I've got an Epilogue.
Yep.
I tell you what, it's been a workhorse.
Yep.
I had heard of people having to change tubes every so often. Luckily, knock on wood, I've had this thing now for 15, 17 years, and I'm still on the same tube. It's a 60 watt CO2, and it's still charging like a champ.
Mm-hmm.
If I leave it,
Have you
if I leave it sit too long, like 2 or 3 weeks without using it, it's sitting there moving without firing, and I go, oh crap. And then all of a sudden it'll start to fire. I find that I've got to fire it off every week and a half or 2 weeks, or it'll run 6 or 8 passes and then start to fire. I don't know why. That's what it does. One time I was gone. I came back about a month later, and it went probably 1/8 of an inch scan forward several passes, and then it finally started to fire. But they say, I'd heard before that you need to run them every now and then.
Yeah.
You could turn up your tick on it also.
The what point?
The tick, it's a tick setting on there that'll make the exciter ignite faster.
Oh, I don't know a thing about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did it to mine.
That's the good thing on this thing. I treat it almost like a paper printer.
Mm.
I barely touch it. I don't do anything other than send jobs to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been one of the most reliable things I've ever seen. And after I'd owned it for probably 10 years, and I've done a lot. I was adjusting the bed, and like on a CNC, I had noticed that it wasn't burning right, because this thing's 24 by 36. And at about 18 inches, it wasn't burning right, as opposed to up here at 0 inches. And I thought, what in the world? And going back to the CNC, which is a little more obvious, I put the height measurement on there. Well, the bed was tilted. It's only hinged in the center of the bed. Well, the screws got loose. And I'd go up and it'd twist one way, and I'd go down and it'd twist the other way. And as I'd adjust it up and down, this thing was floating. And it was real hard to detect. So I took the sides off, tightened up 4 screws, and it's been working for the last 5 years. So it is some amazing engineering on all this equipment, even the cheap stuff to the expensive stuff. But we were talking about those doggone dust shoes. Let me throw a picture here.
Yeah. Tally didn't get to see the dust shoe.
Oh, here's where it. Oops, damn it! I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. do. This is the before.
Okay.
And let's see here. Let's see. And with the this one is 2 pounds 3 ounces.
Okay.
This metal one was like 14 pounds or 15 pounds.
Oh.
So makes a heck of a difference.
That was nice on there. I like the way
Yeah.
you got the front to flip up on it.
Oops, come on here.
Yeah, Milo showed us 2 versions of dust shoes tonight. You should show them again just because they're really cool.
Okay.
Okay, let me pop that back up here. Let's see here. We're just kind of stumbling through there. I know, oops, come on. You need to do, there's Tally. I know you use Corel Draw for your laser.
Yep. I love Corel. Wait,
This
you
is
do that in Corel?
Yeah, this is how I started it out. Drawing just flat drawings of sizing. I'm so much quicker in drawing out flat work in Corel than I am in SolidWorks. You know, because I've been using this, I mentioned earlier, since version 1. It was right at Windows, 3.1?
Mm.
The first version of Windows, I had bought Corel because it was one of the few vector-based software out at that time.
Yeah.
You know, that was on Windows. So drew it out, side profiles and whatnot as to what I was trying to do. Took it into SolidWorks.
Okay.
To where you can get full 3D renderings. And you can see where, you know, issues would run into it. Like on this one, this is an air-cooled spindle.
Uh-huh.
And the venting is down here on the bottom.
Okay.
And there's enough room here to make sure that you got airflow to get out of there. The clamp here to a lot of these dust shoes, they seem to have a 90-degree tab on here. And then they put a bolt back there and they squeeze this together to squeeze it onto the spindle.
Right.
This one, I put a hose clamp on.
Okay.
So that it clamps completely around it and it doesn't snap off the tabs that were back here before. But on this SolidWorks, you can tell, okay, this wouldn't do very good with 2-inch spindle almost sticking all the way out. So it'll adjust up 1 5/8 inch high. And I got a dovetail connection on here and it'll adjust up and down. Went from designing it here to, let's see, let's stop share. Oops, wrong one.
Tiny refrigerator.
To first print, you know, I did do a couple of the mating surfaces of just those sections. You know, you go into Bamboo Lab or whatever slicer you're using. Basically cut this, cut this off, and I wanted to see just how they mated here.
Okay.
I'm finding on my printer 0.006 of an inch gap makes for a nice moving
Slide
mating
fit,
surface.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
0.004 was too tight, 0.008 was too loose. You know, and I was going back and forth and, you know, testing it. It was kind of weird is that if I got a horizontal hole like for the magnets. I know there's adjustment that I'm going to play with it one of these days, but printing a horizontal hole, they're about 20 thousandths too small consistently. A vertical hole was off by about 15 thousandths. Don't know why, but the horizontal holes, I mean, they're consistently 20 thousandths off. But yet, this was dead on the money. It was these small quarter-inch, well, or 3/10 of an inch size. Every one of them was off. The slot, or let's see, picking up my bolts. The keys here to align this thing and to keep it from bumping off, they were dead on. And I know in Bamboo Labs, there's a specific setting for hole compensation.
Yep.
And I go, I have no idea why they would have had that on there, other than I'm not the first guy to have a problem. Say again?
Which direction were they off?
They were round. They were just smaller.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it was a radial.
Yeah, I put down 0.313. And I had to increase that to 0.333 or 0.335 on all of them, and they are consistently correct then.
It sounds like this, when it's spreading the juice, it's overflowing just a little bit.
But
It's,
yet
It shrinks. The filament shrinks.
well, yeah, but at the same token, on these, let's see, on these dovetail joints, there's 6 thousandths difference, and they fit exact. So, I mean, if these doggone magnet holes were off, this hole should have been off. And these dovetail joints should have been off. Be darned if I know why those.
I've noticed that when hold on.
They're too small.
Yeah, because on this thing, I've got a magnet in the back of there and a magnet stuck down inside of here. This horizontal hole has a different, or actually it's going this way, has a different tolerance than these holes. It's kind of weird, but after you figure that out, it's consistent across the board.
And you've done a calibration on your 3D printer recently?
Yeah, and I did an update to the firmware update and all that kind of business. One of these days when I get bored, I'm going to take and play around with that circle compensation adjustment.
Yeah.
And see just what the heck it does.
I know that there's a radial adjustment which should clear up the magnet holes. Then you can compensate that. There's also an axial one, which is, the length up and down, how deep it goes. You can compensate you can comp all of those.
Yeah, the depth on these, I changed it. It was a little bit proud by the time you got the epoxy in there. I changed it 2 thousandths. Yeah. And they fit exact.
Did you do this in inch or metric?
Well, it's a combination. I think in inch.
Me too. But
most every once in a while, metric drags me in there kicking and screaming.
Yeah, most of the adjustment stuff is going to end up being metric anyway. But
yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Well, and that's what was kind of nice about Corel Draw. I didn't realize how easy it was to switch units.
Yeah.
For decades, I was just using Imperial on Corel Draw. Never even cared about looking at metric until these damn CNC machines. But right here on this units, you can switch between millimeters and inches, that quick.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it changes, all of your entry points. So I was just designing one that all the data came in as metric. And instead of me doing the calculations to go from metric to imperial, I just came in here, entered it in metric. And then when I switch back to imperial, it goes right back to measure, doing the conversion for you.
Yep. Some programs will do that for you. Some won't.
Yeah. Or you got to dance around it. I think Vetric,
Yeah.
you got to type in a bunch of stuff to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Where I didn't even realize this was there. And like I said, this is what the equivalent of version 24, 25 now. And back on version 1 is when I started. And I never even looked for it.
There's so many different functions in different programs. You use them for years, and then you find the better way that the programmer came up with way back in history, and say, "How long has that been there? Why didn't I know? I was doing it the hard way."
Yeah.
It's just part of it,
Right as you change to the new version of software that doesn't have it.
Yeah. Go figure.
They take away something and you go, hey, well, they said that we didn't think anybody was using it.
Yeah. I'll tell you, this being able to do what you did to do the design in 3D, print out the prototype, and have it all fit, in a relatively short period of time. It's an amazing power. We live in wonderful times right now because back when we started, you really couldn't do this. I mean, there's no way I could have made this little little dinosaur with a flippy clamp ears or mouth. You just couldn't. And now you make anything you want.
Well,
Yeah, I made it today.
Yeah.
The first dust shoe I made was out of wood.
Yeah.
And I made it on the CNC, but it didn't flow as well as I would like.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
now
10 years ago.
The one that I just finished making is out of wood, and all I did was staple that brush around the outside. As a matter of fact, there it is there.
Yep.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with wood.
It works.
Back when I got started, my first dust shoe was made out of PVC for the base of it, and then I had some. I had been vacuum molding a bunch of different RC car canopies and things like that, and so I took a piece of the PETG clear plastic, and that was my brushes. I'd cut some slots in it and then bend it so that when it was plunging, it would spread out instead of stopping your thing dead. But the benefit was you could shoot video of the machine cutting because you could see right through it. Everybody was like, "Ooh, gotta have that." Well, didn't seal real well, but it got most of the dust up. These dust shoes are so needed and so under designed. I like yours though. It's not under designed at all.
Well, and I never know what I want. I just don't know what I don't. I know what I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to designing it, and all of a sudden you go, oh crap, what if I want to go from a 4 to a 5 inch or from a 5 to a 6 inch? Am I still going to have clearance to the motor housing? So I had to move it over about a half an inch from what I had originally thought. But by having the 3D modeling software, you can see exactly where you would have run into problems.
Yeah.
The
What?
one,
Go ahead.
the one spindle I was dealing with, let's see, let me pop this up.
What size spindle you have?
Well, I designed one for an air-cooled 75 millimeter
Oh, 70.
attachment
Okay.
shaft. The other one was a 6 horse with a
92.
92 or 95 millimeter.
Yeah, that's what I have. Yeah.
And yeah, the tolerances for each one of them is pretty doggone close together. This one here was the air-cooled 2.2 kilowatt
Okay.
motor at a 75 millimeter shaft on it, the mount shaft down here. This one here, I modeled the motor just because it was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff I do primarily because I got to have something to do. If I didn't have something to do, it would drive me up a wall. Let's see, don't say that. This ATC version, darned if I didn't find a model of an ISO 30 tool holder. Went on to Meritool
Mm-hmm.
and looked up the ISO 30, and darned if they didn't have a 3D model of it already.
Oh, that's
Have
okay.
you guys been on GrabCAD?
Yeah.
Milo?
Yeah.
GrabCAD?
Grab.
Yes.
GrabCAD.
Yeah.
GrabCAD. Go take a look.
Okay.
Yep. They have a lot of
You will
things.
never design anything again because everybody else has done it.
Well, that's what I'm finding a lot of. You know, you get thinking, okay, somebody's already done this. Now, who did it? Sometimes trying to find it. I mean, I learn more by doing it myself.
Yeah.
This is true.
If I'm not mistaken, Milo, there is an app built inside of SolidWorks. I know there's one in Fusion, which allows you to import these 3D files from places like McMaster Car and other places that would have these 3D models.
McMaster Car, I get all my bolts, those models. And yeah, if you want a 6-inch bolt to throw in here, you can download it and put it in here, and yep, it works just fine.
Yeah.
This ISO 30, I looked around for it for a while and found this, and I thought, shoot, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Now on here, let's see, I think it's this one.
Well, if you go to GrabCAD and up the top, you'll see libraries, and go into libraries and just do a search for what you want there. Almost everything is there.
Yeah,
And
this
more.
one, this one here, I put 2 different size skirts on this one just to compare the bit length. This is a 100 millimeter. This is a 70 millimeter. This is a 2-inch depth of cut, half-inch bit. The furthest this will adjust, like I say, it was a good thing I didn't screw around and put the bolt in here, because now I can see that the hole lines up and is clear at the one end. If I adjust this up or down, let's see, about, what is that, 1 inch? Oops, the wrong 1 inch. See, that's as low as it will go. And that would be way too far below the 70 millimeter brush, but about right when it's cutting into thicker material on the 100 millimeter brush.
Yep. When you get really conversant with the SolidWorks, you'll be able to do constraints and motion and all of those things that will make this model.
Yeah, where you can drag it up and down.
Yep, and stay together and stuff. It's so powerful, but for where you're at, just keep going.
Yeah, I tell you what, not only is it very useful, it's also kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It will tie up your day before you blink.
Yeah, it's several days usually.
Yeah. Well, the trouble with the doggone computers for me, they're too good.
Yeah.
The darn thing is I can get it a little better. I can get it a little better. If I change this, I can get this a little bit better. And you can get wrapped around the axle and the darn thing never get done.
That's why there's two things that I think people ought to learn early on in their 3D CAD journey. Two things. One is the constraints and stuff that I talked about, but the other one is parametrics. Everybody says, "Ooh, that's too complex to bother with."
No, it's not.
Nope, it is not. It is such a time saver when you get the basic concept that I can type in, "Ooh, I made that hole 3 inches. Let me just change it to 2.75," and it makes the change and adjust everything else in the model to comply with it.
This hose here,
Mm-hmm.
this is the 6-horse ATC motor. It's got these wiring connection boxes real low.
Yep.
First time I did this, they were running into each other. But here, the other thing is this is a 5-inch hole. Some of the people I know have a 6-inch hose feeding this because that's what that metal dust chute was made out of. It fed for 6-inch.
Mm-hmm.
And now pop this on there and you can see that, hey, yep, I really do have this. I didn't trust it at first. I put together the mock-up and I go, yep, it's exactly right. I mean, so long as you measured right. But the first time this was over here a little bit too far. Let's see here. And let's move this guy down. See that constraint I'm going to have to play with so that I don't have to go through all of this business. What was it? 1 inch. Okay, why didn't you do that? Let's go minus. First time this hit, and you could see where it went into the dust chute.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it killed 2 birds with 1 stone by moving this away further so that I could get a 5 to a 6-inch adapter on here. Push this way about a 1/2 inch. Well, it pulled all of this chute back with it. And all I did was change the position of this hose. And like I say, the parametrics took care of everything else. It screwed up a couple of these fillets, but I mean, very, very minor fixes to it.
So you've used that paper clip up there that says mate a few times, have you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, trying to figure out what it did.
Yeah.
But see, I matched it to this centerpiece because you got to have the center hub, separate from the outside portion. The shoe, let's go over here and hide him, and yeah, let's take this and hide that guy. This center hub here. The other thing I had to be a little bit concerned about, all of the air cooling here again is out the bottom. And there's 3 channels. A channel here in this quadrant, and then down the center. So you couldn't bring this all the way up. Well, I just beveled this portion out a little bit to allow more airflow. And you can see exactly, where you were. The mounting holes underneath here, multiple shaft size. It impressive software.
If you get a membership to the Experimental Aircraft Association, the EAA, it's about $40 a year. They will give you a maker version of SolidWorks that you can use.
Yeah.
So, that takes the expense of the software out of the equation, so you can learn to do stuff like this.
I tell you what, it was a steep learning curve. Because I didn't have my head wrapped around this. I had my head wrapped around like Vectric and Corel Draw. But after I finally broke the code on how I needed to think, then, after the first couple pieces, it started going quick. If you, any advice to any other people, start out with something stupid like this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you quick feedback. You don't have to be a rocket scientist on drawing stuff. And it works out really well. And just throw on the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. Right here, I downloaded a bolt head from McMaster Carr. And I went and bought a couple bolts because I thought, okay, do these guys have different sized bolt heads and different thicknesses and whatnot? Well, the standardization is good. And it fit right in there. I allowed a little bit of clearance on both the shaft and the hex head. But it, at 0.175 thickness, when I put this in here, the face of that bolt is dead even, exactly the way it should have been. But yep, pretty impressive.
Milo, I wanted to ask you one more thing about the dust shoe, the part that you hid, the main body there of the vacuum outlet.
Yeah.
This is a 3D printing question because it's one of the pieces that you hid. That's the one. Okay. Up inside of there, you've got the slot for the screw and the back, or the not sure back.
Oh, the other one. Okay, here, let me bring that one up.
Yeah.
Let me. Yeah, this slot here for the bolt.
Yeah, when we're looking at it from underneath, you can see that you've got this tunnel, basically, that the bolt goes through, with the nice fillets on the end and everything.
Yep.
When you printed that, how did you get it not to collapse? What did you do 3D printing wise to keep that suspended? Because it's cantilevered basically.
Yeah, that's the great thing about this damn bamboo software. It's a lot closer to using a laser. Laser, if you know how to print paper, you can make a laser work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a printer, only with a laser beam. bamboo or the slicer, when you put in the supports, it automatically detects those areas that need support.
Okay, so it did print it with supports because it
Yeah,
looked pretty
well,
smooth.
because I enabled it.
Yeah.
I would like to see a little more control over the support areas. Maybe there's a way to do it, but I want to be able to have supports in only certain areas.
You paint it. You paint.
Oh, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Yeah. Go on your model. I'll show you right. I'll show
Oops.
you right quick.
Oops. Here, I got the wrong one. Here, get out of there. Well, this would be a good addition anyway. We take it all the way across from from Corel Draw to SolidWorks
Mm-hmm.
now to the 3D printer.
Okay.
And we'll roll this guy over as automatically.
Okay, so
we'll
you
roll
did
it.
get an H2D. I was wondering what size machine you used to print it. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's your tunnel underneath there. And the slot through the face of it. This is also a hollow tunnel in here.
Yep.
I got it a little thicker than it needs to be, so I'm going to go back and thin these walls down a little bit. But when you go to slice it, I mean, it's an adequate term for it because that's what you're doing is slicing it up into 1,000 layers or whatever it is. This one here, I put out at high resolution. I don't know yet if it changes the print time from a high resolution to a low resolution.
What you change it from low resolution, like standard to like fine or
Well,
optimal?
I'm going to play around with SolidWorks because they got different levels you can set the resolution.
Okay.
You get
Yeah.
too low, and
Yeah.
you start getting faceted
Right.
circles. You get real high. Well, how high is high enough? I don't know if it makes any difference when you go to print.
It does. It does. And then you can actually make it much smoother by controlling your layer height also.
Yeah.
From like
Especially on the rounded areas.
standard.
But this thing,
Yeah, like standard with bamboo is really, really good. And
tell you
then
what,
you can go to like 0.16 millimeter and on optimal, and it's still really good. So I've done stuff in draft and it still looks good. And it prints fast. I mean, it prints fast. So it does makes a difference saving it at high resolution.
Okay. Yeah, there's your supports.
here's the supports under here for this channel.
Okay, so it got the defaults is the tree supports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's pretty straightforward if you go to like a hybrid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so in the support, see where it say type? Right quick. Go. Oh.
Yeah, here. Oops.
Not that one.
Here's tree.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
I know there's manual here. That's what it is.
Not down. Go to other. Go to other. That's weird. Weird.
Oh, you never find it if you're looking for it.
Hold on. Let me go.
The thing that I have found that was a big deal for me is the first few layers. If it was a small surface area and I didn't scrub the daylights out of my printing plate and get it really clean, I could have one of these corners might lift up when they were real thin. And then it would keep printing over the top of it, and then it would eventually straighten out.
Okay.
But here on this brim width, if I add basically an area to hold down those edges, it works perfect. I haven't had anything come loose or lift. Because if it lifts a little bit, then all of a sudden you get a warped part and they don't fit together too good.
Did they change something in the update? They remove it should be a paint section.
Yeah, it's up here on top.
No, it should be because you have to activate it under. You
Yeah,
have to activate it before it recognizes it. So
yeah, up here on prepare.
What do they do?
I'm older than you, Telly, so I got to finish my thought.
Go ahead.
Here's the different type of support is pretty rigid. But inside of this darn thing, right here, I was trying to get away from having to have internal support because this thing should be able to print on its own because it's an inside arch. And I think it would do it fine without support. But inside of here, it's doing this support. And I can't get rid of it unless I manually tell it where to put it. But I think I'm going to end up thinning this area down because it doesn't need to be that thick. It's like everything else. Every time I can cut a couple corners here and there, pretty soon it all adds up in time of print and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
Yeah, if nothing else, I'll play around with it and then we'll see if we can't have another comment on it on the.
I can show you. I can show you how you do. I can show you how you do supports, but now I got to figure out what the heck.
Okay, up here on prepare, I think is where you print in the supports.
Right, is the next icon.
This one here.
To the left, right there.
Oh, supports painting. Okay.
Yeah. So you paint in your support, right? But you have to activate it. So let's say, like once you go on there, you put in your pen size, and you just paint in the area, or you can just dot it. So everything that's showing like the halftone or the grid, that's showing your overhangs.
Here, we'll just see if that'll take. Okay, now when you go,
just go out of it, just click out of it, just go back and click out of it. Okay, so now that's what I was saying about the other. You should see where it say paint because now you paint it.
And this would be manual here, probably, huh?
See, they done changed it. Because you got the new update also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I do too. And now I got to find it because it was under the type. It was a selection of tree, auto, normal, and then it had paint. So they changed the feature. Another thing too, when you said about your flat pieces that you're putting a brim around it, you can put ears around it, which is that other icon.
Yeah, I tried that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And that saves time. You just put those on your corners or the edges, and that'll save time where you don't have to print a brim around it. It'll hold those.
There we go, right there.
Did it do it?
Yep. It didn't show up as anything when I painted it.
Right.
But as soon as I did this manual.
Okay, so they changed it from paint to manual. They must have had somebody must have requested that.
I painted this area here with that support function right here.
There is
and it works just fine.
There's a guy, I think it's Clow 42. CLOUGH42 YouTube channel guy. He was doing some stuff with supports last month where he wanted the surface to look great after he removed the supports. And so there's a setting somewhere in here where you can make this support, but it doesn't actually touch the part. It's off by, let's say,
Oh, yep.
Just a tad bit small, and it
Uh-huh.
will still provide the support, but
Right
without
here.
marring the surface of your part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think it's one
the
of
Z,
those right here.
the top Z's distance.
Yeah. So anyway, just
Yeah, now what's
throwing
kind
that out
of
there.
interesting here on these magnet holes. See, I painted this area, and I thought that'd be the only areas that it did it. But you can see here, let's go ahead and run the slicer down there. Um,
So I tell you another thing, what I do, Milo, when I do my manual support,
that's the brim.
I
See it?
just, because you still have your brim activated.
Yeah.
Um,
See, it'd be nice to not have to paint everything. I'll have to play around with this. It'd be nice to be able to not have to paint every area, but only the area you want to affect. See, like here, I wouldn't want to have to go in here and paint every one of these darn things to give these
uh,
support while changing only this area.
okay, so those holes are recessed. Those holes recess in there, right?
Yeah, that's where
Okay.
the magnet holes are.
Okay, so you don't need a brim on there and you don't need a support. What you need is what they call a raft.
Okay.
You'll put a raft on those. Um, and then you'll do your manual support by painting those. And normally you don't have to paint it like a stroke or anything. You can actually do like blotch painting. So anywhere that it
Let's see.
recognize the size of the brush, you could just blotch paint those areas where you want them to go.
Just a couple of dots.
Yes.
Yeah, because that would also hopefully cut down time. Materials are really negligible anyway.
Yeah. So what you'll do on that, you'll print a raft, not a brim, just print a raft. And the raft, what that does, it'll give it some lift and it'll print a bed for everything to be printed on top of. Normally, if anything that's have a concave inside, anything like that, you'll print a raft in it and that pulls out. You can also, for your supports, you can use what you print this with?
Just
PLA?
PLA.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you can use PETG as your support or vice versa. And because PETG does not stick to PLA.
I bought some of that
Mhm.
PLA support material.
Yeah.
Sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't.
What, stick
So
to
I
the
was going to
bed?
try PET G.
Stick to the bed or stick to the um
Well, like in here on that tree structure when it prints, it'll put a layer of the interface and then puts the final over the top of that support material.
okay.
Uh, so basically, it's putting a layer of that PLA support between the tree and between the top surface of the magnet hole. And it usually works. I might have to play with the temperatures a little bit
Yeah.
because sometimes it'll pull it completely out. I mean, when they say it doesn't stick, they're absolutely right. It doesn't stick.
Yeah. Yeah, PLA and PETG doesn't adhere together. But I print my supports with whatever I'm using, and then I just adjust my top Z distance.
Oh, Okay.
So
Another tip for you is to test the PLA in case they've changed the formulation. You should be able to dissolve PLA with sodium hydroxide, which is basically nappy cleaner.
All right. Yeah, I tell you what, there's a lot to learn. That's why it's kind of fun.
In the earlier days, you used to use PLA as an internal support, and then you just drop the entire part into a drum of or a bucket of sodium hydroxide, and it just dissolves the PLA.
Yep. Well, now that you've printed this dust shoe, I see what the size difference actually is in real world
that's
view
huge. I thought it
between
was
the
smaller.
H2 and the P2S. Just amazing.
Yeah, I like that. I thought it was small when he first showed it, and then when I saw, I was like, "Dang, that joke is huge."
Um,
Yeah.
This
So-
is that's that thing.
Yeah. So Milo, is the H2S the one that has dual print heads?
I believe that one has a single.
Single.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the S is. Single.
Oh, and H2D is the dual.
Mm-hmm. And the C is the changer.
Yeah, like when I print this, I do the support material on one head and then the main material on the other head.
Mm.
But this one, these outside corners is kind of nice because I had one on that other one that for the ATC. See, this is wider still. And I had maybe a 1/4 inch on each end. But even this big son of a gun, you only print out, just the shoe portion of it. And here, if I was using only a single color, then you can actually come out into these outside areas.
Mm.
Okay, so you only cannot go in the outside areas when you're using both nozzles.
Well, like here, let's say I was put it on here this way,
Uh-huh.
and I had support material, and let's say there's a magnet underneath of here
Right.
where I needed some support material. So long as it was on the left nozzle,
Gotcha.
see, but I couldn't cut or I couldn't print the blue on here.
Okay.
So I just made darn sure that I could squeeze it together as much as I possibly could, still getting the clearances, and I had about a 1/4 inch left. Otherwise, you'd have had to look into making this into multiple parts and then putting it together, and that's a pain in the neck.
That's still that's still big. That's still
Oh,
pretty.
yeah, it's pretty good size.
It's huge.
Let's see
Yeah.
here. File new. No, I don't want to remember this. Get out of there.
You work in metrics and in the bamboo?
Now he
I
does.
haven't taken it from Vetric to bamboo yet.
No. I'm saying you working in metric in
Oh,
bamboo?
metric.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. But by the time I bring it into here, I'm not doing much.
You can convert bamboo to imperial.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I figure I do so little actual modification in here that,
Yeah, if you go to preference, you can change it.
yeah, this bigger one here. Oops. Oh, I must not have a STL. I got rid of all of them because if I keep multiple copies around, I get in trouble real quick. I grabbed the wrong version. But yeah, the bigger ATC shoe just fit on here. But yeah, interesting stuff.
Nice.
That's fantastic. Great job there, Milo. That's two different versions of it. Um, the hydraulics, really cool for the ATC version.
Well, and this little cylinder actuator
Mm-hmm.
out of
Or
Amazon
pneumatic,
Prime,
excuse me.
about $12.
Yep. That's pneumatic,
Whoa.
not hydraulic.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. I mentioned earlier this little 5-axis machine that Taylor and I were talking about. I finally found the link, and I can share that. With everybody. Hang on just a second. Just have to get the tab open. Yeah, there we go. It's on Facebook. And then we can start probably winding down. But gonna go back here. Can you hear the sound at all?
No.
Mm-mm.
No, it's good because it's just driving music. But it's got an auto tool changer.
It's an interesting ATC.
Yeah. And
Wow. Looks like an old 8-track.
now I guess this is just the one for the automatic tool changer portion of it. But there's another video here in the same group where they show the machine, and I believe they're saying on Kickstarter that it's going to be like $5,500 or something like that. Do you remember the price, Tally?
5,000. You put 50% down.
50% down or just $50? I think it was $50.
I thought it was 50%.
Well, it is right.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think that to get the early bird special, you put down $50,
Yeah.
and then when the campaign launched, you pay the 5K or whatever it is, and then they
Right.
gave you 2,000 off
Oh yeah.
of that price, something like that. Anyway, it was just kind of an interesting machine, and I've been seeing ads for this all week long, and now that I want to show it.
Oh yeah, $50. Yeah, $50 deposit.
Yeah, here's the other thing there, where you can actually see the 5-axis part of it now. All right, took me a minute. So let's start this one.
The only thing they've been dragging this thing out for like, I want to say probably 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. And it's simultaneous 5-axis, or you can do it 3+2.
Yeah, that's
Is the
sweet.
software to develop or to feed this thing still obscene?
That
It's
software is
included.
integrated. Yeah, that's their main platform. What they focused around, like everything is integrated because 5-axis software is expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they've been sending out the notifications on this thing for a while. Now, here's the problem with the Kickstarter funding a project. Unless you're with one of the companies that's already established, like this X Horse 3D, they're established. They've got other products that are out there already. So when they launch, they're pretty much going to have that machine ready to go within, a month or two of their campaign being completed. Other places, it could be 6 months, a year, it could be never that you get your product, because you're funding the development of this new product.
So you think they're reliable?
They have other products that are out there.
Oh, they do? I've never
Yeah.
seen anything. Yeah.
Yeah. It's X Horse is the name of the company. X Horse 3D was this particular product, but now I'm not endorsing them.
Oh, right. Well,
Yeah.
User assumes all risk.
Yes. But it's like when Onefinity put out a Kickstarter campaign. They already had multiple products out there, and if no, shoot, there's the company. I've got one of their routers there. They did 3 different Kickstarter campaigns, all successful, all fully funded, and they launch machines. That's just the way that they roll out a new product. They use Kickstarter to get orders ahead of time, so that when the product is in from the warehouse, they're shipping, and they're already approaching being in the black as far as that goes. So pre-orders, love them, but it's risk. Everything's risk.
Life is.
yeah, I from the looks of the machine and watching it, and me reading about it is very tempting.
Yeah.
And it's not a heavy investment. I mean, it's very tempting to buy. Yeah.
I would like to see more video of it cutting. It says that it has mist coolant available and it has air cooling available for the cutting. But I'd like to see it doing some aluminum or some titanium or some brass or something in there before I got all excited about it.
Yeah. Didn't they do a horse? I thought they did a horse on one of their videos.
Unknown.
I saw but they actually have a it actually has what is it? What was talking about RCTP, the rotating center point.
Oh, the 0 point
is integrated with the tool. Yeah, it's integrated into the controller already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when they're cutting those 2 cones on the end of that piece, and the piece is rotating, and the spindle is perfectly following it around as it's doing. That's some impressive programming right there.
Let me see if
so
let me go and
it's a tempting product, but for me, I don't have a need for it. It's a want more than anything. So I'll probably just watch it from the sidelines as usual. But
at a certain age, it all becomes want.
Yes,
it's a want for me. I don't have a need. I ain't have a need for none of the stuff that I have. I could have just, I don't know.
I always thought
Yep,
want was
being
the
labor.
important deciding factor.
Say that again.
he said he thought it was the important.
I thought it was the important deciding factor.
The important deciding
I thought
factor.
it was the important deciding factor.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Usually. Anyway, it's kind of cool. Yes, I want one. No, I don't know what I would do with it once I got it, but I know it would be an adventure.
Of course, I've had that happen on more than one tool before.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And then, but that leads to the situation Kurt's in right now where he's liquidating some of his tools.
Yeah.
He says, I don't use it anymore.
And as soon as you get rid of it,
Then you have a project that was perfect for it. Yeah.
they go, hey, who'd I sell that to?
Yeah.
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 Some big contractor come along and say that I'll need all my stuff for it. It'll be a $25,000 or $30,000 job, and I won't have nothing. That'll
Yep.
be my luck.
As soon as it's sold.
Yeah. Part of doing business. Yeah.
I'm looking, they got quite a bit of videos. They don't show the videos on Facebook, but they've shown a lot of videos on YouTube all the way past like 8 months ago.
Okay. I'll have to go and look because
They
based on
milling a
what they're showing
compressor,
on,
a turbine compressor, and one guy doing a rotary, the rotary motor.
yeah, based on what they've been showing on YouTube, it's aimed at the consumer, not at the user so much. So, it makes more sense. Most people are just users. They're not. I consider everybody on here a power user of CNC stuff. So,
I like
it is what it
I
is.
like what is it? The Yornu? It's the little bigger one.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's only 4-axis.
No, this one here's 5-axis.
Oh, okay.
This
Well,
one
share
here.
your screen. Share your screen.
Let me see. Hold on.
Maybe I missed one.
I just found this one. This one. Let's see. Hold on. Where we at?
Your Lou. Yeah. Or Your New, it's called. Yeah.
Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this stuff going to be in the next 10 years?
On my desktop.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, compared to 10 years ago to today, and in the next 10, and it always accelerates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think about it. All of this stuff is coming along just in time for the rocket age.
Yeah, that's it right there. See, that's a pretty nice size.
Yeah, that one's really more tempting than the other one. The other
Yeah.
one is I won't say it's a toy.
Closer to a dental office.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if they did it right, the dental offices would love that because it's a fraction of what they charge for the ones that do their crowns and all of that. Because I think my dentist has one of those machines where they make the crowns in house, and I think he said it was about $250,000.
Gee.
Oh yeah, I can. Well,
no wonder crowns cost what they do.
Yep.
Anything anything in the medical field is overcharged.
Yep. No,
it's not necessary.
When you go $5,000 versus $250,000.
Yeah. Because they actually use the same tooling that we do. It's It's just
Yep.
surgical, you know, about what do you call it? Because my son-in-law is a surgical tech, and he shows me the same stuff that I have, and they just upcharge it.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Yeah,
it's really
same thing with mil spec parts and
Yep.
different specification levels.
yeah.
Well, for mil spec parts, you have to certify the load of metal that you got has to have a certification that it is meets these requirements. Um, you've got to have the certifications in your shop that you're capable of making this. It just goes on and it starts adding up like crazy, you know. And then you have to inspect and have inspection sheets for each part, and, you know.
Is that why they got $400 toilet seats?
Oh, that's cheap.
Yeah.
Yep. Just crazy. Anyway.
All right.
Well, folks, if anybody got any last thoughts, we're over time. I know you got in late, Tally. Anything?
Yeah. No. I'll probably be I'll post some videos up of some stuff that I was doing today.
Yep.
Um,
Okay.
that's it.
Milo,
Yeah.
as always, you bring the projects, man. That is a very impressive
Yeah, that's fantastic.
design, especially for somebody who's new to SolidWorks.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you in 6 months.
Not new to software, just new to SolidWorks. And
Yep.
I got to admit, it was a steep learning curve.
Yes. Yeah, but it's worth it. It is worth
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
when we're talking about 3D printing things to use with the CNC and things like that, I have shown these before. These are little, there's a gap inside and they go inside the jaws of a chuck. It's just one of these. I print a lot of these little brackets and gadgets. So with that, and there's a little indexing groove inside which would hold. This is when I did the chest pieces some time ago. And what it would do was so I could machine the chest pieces. Well, this one's not for the chest piece. This one's a horse, but it was for one of like the Queen or something like that. There's a groove just here on that base, if you can see it.
Yep.
And what would happen is there's a groove inside there. So once you actually put it inside, you would always align the piece. So when it was in the chuck, I could then do rotary machining after I actually machined the billet on the lathe. And then when I put it in the lathe, I could also hold it backwards so as that I can clean the back up, so it's flat. So that's just a little spring collet that would hold the
So when
chest piece.
the
But
jaws close on it, so the jaws close on it. Okay.
So you can see the little gaps in those four corners. So it's the exact size. So it allows it to open up a little bit so you can fit the piece in there. And it's pretty much the exact size of the chest piece or the base of the chest piece. So the jaws would close and then it wouldn't deform the piece holding it in the chuck. It would keep the piece nice and without any marks around the sides.
That's like, okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd end up with big jaw claw marks in the side of a bloody thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, fantastic. All right, guys, we're going to call it for today.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us, folks. If you want to join us sometime and talk about CNC stuff, we do it every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link inside of the group. Just click and come and join us. Everybody have a great evening.
You too. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Later.
Later. Bye.